factor in this gun violence discussion. And I'm wondering, as I think about it over the years, why are we diverting to mental health? Why are we not focusing on the guns themselves?
Having the bomb dropped that, hey, your daughter is currently in the ER for being suicidal. Like, how does that feel to a parent who doesn't even believe suicide is a thing or depression is a thing?
As I've always said, youth are not the leaders of tomorrow. Okay. They're truly the leaders of today. And these young people have been demonstrating that. A tradition of a youth council that advises the mayor since Tom Bradley.
Why are we able to get a gun at 18 instead of 21 when you can drink at 21 but you can't drink at 18? I don't really see how school police will necessarily be much of a solution because it would only make students inside of school not feel as safe.
Our interactions with the mayor were very informed, and I was very impressed and honored by the way that he gave us his time and had this discussion with us. We came away with concrete solutions instead of abstract ideas. So the thing that I'm most excited about now is taking what we've discussed here and learned here and applying it to what we do in the future.
Today we were talking not only of our personal experiences with gun violence, but also things that we want to see, change within the city, like mental health and like policies that hold other people accountable. And I really appreciated, how he, took some time out of his day to, just listen to us, just listen to our grievances, listen to like what ideas we have. And it really shows that he's not tokenizing us, he's not tokenizing youth, but he's actually taking our ideas into consideration.
Thank you all.
What are the things that really bring people together? That is what the Central Library exhibition, Something in Common, seeks to answer. Through different forms of artistic expressions, the visitors are able to appreciate the benefits of social gathering through this journey across all the different communities that are formed in the libraries.
We're here at the Something in Common exhibition at the Central Library downtown, and this is a special exhibit that really looks to celebrate what are the things that bring people together. It's also specifically meant to highlight our public libraries as a community gathering place. We had done a lot of research about this idea of social gatherings and the kind of benefits of coming together with your community. And it's unfortunately been really well documented by sociologists over the last couple decades that that's been in decline in this country. And then of course when the pandemic happened, all of these ideas about us coming together and issues of isolation and loneliness really became front page news. But it really gave us a renewed sense of importance for this conversation and this kind of project. So we're really grateful now for the opportunity as things begin to open up again to welcome people back to the library and to, again, share in that conversation about what it is that brings us together, how we can come back out and share space again after a time of such unprecedented isolation. I'm standing in front of a really unique exhibit. It's a display of new banners that were created by the artist Christine Wong Yap. So she came and felt that there was a need to highlight some of the unique communities that were gathering at our branch libraries across the city and created this set of new banners that represent 7 different groups that meet at our branch libraries across the city. Everything from the Persian Poetry Forum to the French Conversation Club to the Neuroplasticity Club. This is just a snapshot, if you will, of the many different types of communities that are formed around a program or a service or an idea that's happening here at the library. You know, in highlighting some of these fascinating groups and looking at some of the more unique things that bring people together, we hope that visitors will take the opportunity to think about what are the things that connect them with others. We all have a need for community, and more than ever, I think today, there's a need for us to come together and have conversations with others and kind of break bread and share in that experience. So our hope with this project is that it will be an opportunity to really take away and think about something more serious even as they're exploring some of these more fun and interesting and unusual groups as well. The Something in Common exhibition here at the Central Library downtown in our Getty Gallery will be up through November 6th. There's a lot more information about this exhibition and some of the featured groups and the artwork that we commissioned on our project website, which is lapl.org/something.
Join the Griffith Observatory Summer Solstice virtual event. Enjoy free nature play at the LA Zoo Family Nature Club or attend Micah the Magician's wonderful magic show. All this up next on Things to Do. Summer is here, and your pals at the Griffith Observatory want to help mark the summer solstice. The observatory staff will have a live online broadcast, weather permitting, focused on the setting sun. They will talk about how the sun's changing path across the sky causes seasonal changes and determines where the sun sets on the western horizon. Join this free online talk during the longest day of the year that marks the beginning of the summer as the sun sets. Anyone can sign up for this live online discussion before June the 21st via the Griffith Observatory website. For more information, visit griffithobservatory.org. The LA Zoo, in partnership with the LA Department of Recreation and Parks, is bringing the Family Nature Club back. This is a chance to enjoy free nature play by exploring beyond the zoo with loosely structured outdoor games and discovering nature through art and building, thanks to the help of the LA Zoo Learning and Engagement staff. It is open to families, caregivers, and children of all ages, and no registration is required. The Family Nature Club will take place the last Saturday of every month from 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. starting on June 25th. For more details, visit lazoo.org. The Chatsworth Branch Library invites adults and children to a wonderful magic show. Micah the Magician will be performing a highly interactive magic show where the audience is the star. Join him as he returns to Chatsworth for this magical opportunity and get a close look at how Micah performs his amazing magic tricks. This is a great chance for magic lovers of all ages to attend a free live show. Micah the Magician's show will take place at the Chatsworth Branch Library on Saturday, June 25th at 1 p.m. For more information, visit lapl.org/events. And that's a look at some things to do. And that's it for this edition. I'm Natalia Bilbao, and from all of us here at LA This Week, thank you so much for joining us. A reminder that you can catch us online at lacityview.org, and we're also on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. See you next time for more LA This Week.
and welcome to the Los Angeles City Council. Today is Wednesday, June 22nd. I'm Noreen Martinez, the President of the City Council. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Blumenfield. Absent. Bonin.
Here.
Buscaino. Cedillo. Absent. De Leon.
Here.
Harris Dawson.
Present.
Koretz.
Here.
Krikorian.
Here.
Lee. Absent. Martinez.
Present.
O'Farrell. Absent. Price.
Here.
Rahman.
Here.
Rodriguez. Absent. Wesson. 10 members present and a quorum, Madam President.
First order of business.
Approval of the minutes of June 21st, 2022.
Mr. Buscaino moves and Mr. Bonin seconds. Next.
Commendatory resolutions for approval.
Mr. Harris Dawson moves and Ms. Rahman seconds. Next.
Madam President, there are several requests. First request is to continue item 27 to June 24th, 2022. Second request is to hold 21 on the desk, please.
Okay, without objection.
Item 1 is an item notice for public hearing. Items 2 through 21 are items which public hearings have been held. The committee report for item 20 has been submitted and posted online under Council File 22-0231. Items 22 through 31 are items which public hearings have not been held. And finally, items 32 through 37 are closed session items for which public hearings have not been held. 10 votes are required for consideration.
Okay, without objection, those items are now before us. Members, you wish to call any of these items special? Mr. Bonin?
Thanks, Madam President. I knew you held 21 on the desk. Wanted to call that special for a couple questions for LAHD, and we've asked them to come.
You've asked housing to be here?
Yeah.
Okay, great. And I also, there is an amending motion being circulated on item 21 as well. Ms. Rahman?
Could I call item 5 special for comments, please?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Members, any other items? Can you see no other members on the queue? Madam Clerk, which are the available items for us to vote on?
Madam President, those would be
Mr. Price, I just on the board. Did you have a special?
I'm sorry, Madam President. Yes, the 29 for amendment, item 29.
Okay, just speak into the mic so we can get it on tape. Thank you.
Item 29 for an amendment, Madam President.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Price, just make sure we circulate your amending motion on 29. Thank you. Madam Clerk, which are the available items for us to vote on?
Madam President, those would be items 2 through 4, 6 through 20, and that is all.
Okay, let's go ahead and vote on those items, items 2 through 4 and items 6 through 20. Open the roll. Close the roll and tabulate the vote. Okay, Madam Clerk, why don't we move into the closed session items? Those are items 33 through 37.
30, yes, Madam President, but there is a request to send item 20 forthwith, and I will read the settlements for the closed session items, and those would be item 32 through 37. Item 32, in the case entitled Galit Eisenberger versus City of Los Angeles, there is a recommendation to expend up to $140,000 in settlement. Item 33, in the case entitled Jose Martinez versus Charles L. Beck et al., there is a recommendation to expend up to $150,000 in settlement. Item 34, in the case entitled Ruben David Chuddy et al. Versus City of Los Angeles, there is a recommendation to expend up to $125,000 in settlement. Item 35 in the case entitled Margaret Beal Sandorf versus Glenn Center, GP LLC, a Delaware limited liability, there is a recommendation to expend up to $145,000 in settlement. Item 36 in the case entitled Rita Aaron versus City of Los Angeles et al., there is a recommendation to expend up to $200,000 in settlement. And finally, item 37 in the case entitled Tracy Bradford versus James Douglas et al., there is a recommendation to expend up to $150,000 in settlement.
Mr. Krikorian?
Thank you, Madam President. For the record, items 32 through 37 are all matters that I waived from consideration in Budget and Finance because they are routine settlements and they can be taken up in open session unless members have questions or concerns.
All right, thank you. Madam Clerk, there are no cards on items 22 through 26, items 27, 28, items 30 through 31, and the closed session items 32 through 37. So let's go ahead and prepare to vote on those items. Open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the vote.
10 ayes.
Okay, at this time, we're going to move on to public comment. If I call your name, please come up to the podium. Alejandro Navarro. You want to come to the podium? ¿Habla español? Por favor, venga enfrente. Hay una traductora que le va a traducir. ¿Usted quiere hablar sobre el tema en la agenda 21?
Sí.
Ok, por favor comience, nomás le pido que hable al pasito para que le puedan traducir.
Sí, está bien.
Y por favor acérquese al micrófono para que le podamos escuchar. Comience.
Mi problema es que tengo viviendo ahí 48 años.
My problem is that
Entonces,
I've been living
de
there
la
for
mañana al pasado, ya quieren que desalojemos.
My problem is that I've been living there for 48 years and they want to evict us from
Yo y mi
the
esposo
one day to the
somos-
next.
Somos de la tercera edad. Entonces, si nos desalojan, ¿qué va a haber? ¿Nos vamos a ir a vivir a la calle?
And we are elders, like
Para-
from the third age, so if they evict us,
Para
what's going to
ver-
happen? We're
para
going to
ver-
end up in the street.
¿Va a haber más gente en la calle? Creo que es injusto eso lo que nos están haciendo.
There's going to be even more homeless, and that I think it's unfair what they're doing to us.
¿Tiene algo más que decir?
Pues es mi comentario que tengo.
That is my comment.
Ok, gracias.
Muchas gracias.
The next speaker is Andrea. Anyone here with that name, Andrea? I don't have a last name, I just have Andrea speaking on item 21 in general public comment. Are you Andrea? So you've got 1 minute for general public comment and another minute for your item 21. You can start on the item and then move into general public comment.
So I say my comment?
I can't hear you.
I say my comment.
Can you get closer to the mic?
Hello, my name is Andrea. I am going to senior year. I'm just here to speak on to not take the protection that COVID could impact us with the rent. It has impacted my family as well and negatively. Honestly, it stresses me out, and just to see my parents suffer, and I don't want my peers from school to stress out about it too. It does affect our school, our education, and yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker is Ana Cruz. You filled out a card for general public comment. You have 1 minute.
Good morning, council members. My name is Ana Cruz, and I am part of Community Power Collective. I want to express my general public comment as I am concerned that on July 1st, the price of the sidewalk vendor's permit will go up to $541. Nowadays, the cost of living in the city is difficult, and the increase of food prices makes it more difficult with the increase of expenses. That is why it's necessary to support at a low cost the permits of a street vending community that continues to suffer the impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic. Many people are in danger to the virus and yet have gone out to work to provide to their families. I ask you to make this matter a priority, as many families depend on their sales, as it is the only income they have. Thank you.
The next speaker is Digna Hernandez. You're speaking, and 1 minute for your general public comment and another minute for item 21.
Español.
Ok, un momentito. Ok, comienza, nomás por favor hable despacio para que la puedan traducir.
Buenos días, miembros del concilio. Mi nombre es Digna Hernández. Soy vendedora ambulante en la ciudad de Los Ángeles, específicamente en Boyle Heights. Me encuentro aquí para dar mi comentario público general, porque estoy preocupada ya que se aproxima el 1 de julio y el costo del permiso del vendedor de acera subirá $5.41. Ahora que
me deja traducirla, señora. Un minutito. So good morning, council members. My name is Digna Hernandez, and I am a street salesperson in Boyle Heights. And my commentary is that I'm really worried because on July 1st, the cost is going to go up. The cost of the permit is going to go up 5.41.
Ahora que los precios de la canasta básica son muy altos y vemos que es difícil poder costear los alimentos del día a día, les pido que por favor consideren.
So now that the basic food is like really high, so even to like pay day per day our expenses, so I'm asking you to consider, please.
A todas las familias que dependemos de la venta ambulante y nos apoyan con la extensión del costo de nuestros permisos para poder seguir trabajando.
So I'm asking you to please support the families, because we are dependent on our sales, on the street sales. So if you can support us by keeping the cost of the permit the same price.
Les pido que nos apoyen. Nosotros somos personas trabajadoras que solo buscamos el bienestar de nuestras familias y queremos continuar con nuestros negocios, pero sí necesitamos de su ayuda para poder lograrlo. Gracias.
So I'm asking you, please support us. We are hardworking people and we want the well-being of our families, so we just want to work and just have a normal life.
También quiero comentarles lo que en estos momentos me está pasando. Precisamente ahorita en estos momentos, el 6/17 del 22 me cortaron la electricidad de mi apartamento. Yo vivo en la Primera y la Soto, en la ciudad de Boyle Heights. Yo padezco de alergias, padezco de presión alta y el dueño no contesta mis mensajes. Yo le dejo muchos mensajes y no me contesta. Por favor, a ver qué podemos hacer con esto, porque esto es una emergencia. No tengo luz en mi casa, van 5 días que no tengo luz. Muchas gracias.
I also want to comment what's happening to me. On June 16, 2022, they shut off the electricity at my place. I live at First and Soto in Boyle Heights, and I suffer of migraines and also high blood pressure, and I keep calling the owner. He doesn't answer my phone calls, so I haven't had electricity for 5 days, so I'm just asking, what can we do with this? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the next speaker is Connie Lynn. Connie Lynn. You filled out a card for general public comment. You have 1 minute.
Hello, I just came to ask that the City Council please reconsider the project in Venice, thank you, and thank you, Mr. Koretz, for your vote. Thank you very much.
The next speaker is Dr. Scott Myers. You filled out a card for general public comment. You have 1 minute.
Hello. I would like to address the council, several people who I know, who I've raised money for also. I think that the project, as it goes forward, the monster as it's called, is a travesty. It's the misuse of public land for a private foundation whose role model or business model does not even coincide with the homeless situation that we have now. It's in a flood zone. I have property there, which is a zoo on the weekends or any day, trying to get to the beach. If the city is going to give that property, it should be given for all of public use, not for this narrow little private foundation. Thank you.
The next speaker is Ryan Bell. You filled out a card to speak on item 21.
Item 21?
Yeah. Item 21 is what you signed up to speak on.
Yes, yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. My name is Ryan Bell. I'm the Southern California regional organizer with Tenants Together, and a member of the Keep LA House Coalition. And I'm here today to strongly urge you not to roll back the emergency COVID tenant protections without, first of all, serious public input from tenants in the city who are still suffering due to the pandemic, job loss, family loss, and now impending recession and high inflation. And also without having permanent tenant protections in place, such as those outlined in the Tenant Bill of Rights being put forward by the Keep LA House Coalition. All over LA County and Southern California, and especially in LA City, tenants are in an extremely precarious position with mounting debt and expiring protections. LA City's emergency protections have been key to keeping people housed. And I urge the council to consider what we have learned over the past 2.5 years. The pandemic has pulled back the curtain on systemic housing precarity region-wide, instead of a return to pre-pandemic status of—
Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you.
The next speaker is Rita Silverman. You signed up to speak on general public comment.
Yes, I'm a 30-year resident of Venice, and I want everyone to please do your homework and vote no this coming Friday on the project that Bon and the developers have painted a pretty picture about. Oh, okay, thanks. It's on a FEMA special hazard flood zone. It's based on old data. The old 2017 soil report did not even include subterranean parking. It's dangerous. The developers are just pushing things through. You voted on this already 3 different times. Bonin keeps changing things, doing different resolutions, and I'm just saying, please, please do your homework for the safety of our community and also the proposed tenants of that monstrosity. Please, I'm just asking you, look at the facts and the new geotechnical report and the FEMA and also the requirement for flood insurance. It's just, the plan is based on outdated information. And thank you so much, Honorable Busquiano and Paul Koretz, for your support.
Thank you. The next speaker is Rob Lucero. And you signed up to speak in general public comment. Go ahead.
Yes, good morning. I'm here with the residents of Venice. I'm a 4th-generation Angelino. I currently live in Culver City, where we have a similar profound homeless crisis. My comments are to speak more globally. Our city, Los Angeles, wishes to be a global city. We're a global embarrassment right now, but part of the reason for that is there is a global movement for mass homelessness. There's a recent book called Metropolis by Ben Wilson, in which he delineates this global movement for an underclass. which our mayor was going to become the new minister of over in India. After presiding over a new third world city, Los Angeles, he wants to be the minister of a new third world situation over there. So my comments are to encourage the city council to think more globally about what we're facing in terms of a broader economic collapse. And I urge you to think on that level. So again, I'm Robert Lucero. I'd love to be a resource for you. And thank you for allowing me to comment.
The next speaker is Sabrina Johnson. You signed up to speak on item 21?
I actually put in a second request, item 21 and general public comment, sorry.
Did you meant to sign up for general public comment as well?
I put
You
in
did?
a follow-up
Okay,
request.
I got it. Go ahead, so you have 1 minute for each.
Sabrina Johnson, People's City Council. On item 21, I sincerely hope that amending tenant protections doesn't mean abridging tenant protections. If you were to roll back tenant protections at this point, you would be rolling back some of your own progress that you've made. We know that people are falling into homelessness faster than we can house them, and the tenant protections have been a big gauze pad on that to kind of stop the bleeding there. So rolling that back at this point would be setting yourselves back. And also, just a side note, as a member of People's City Council, I think you know how uncomfortably loud your own neighborhoods may become if you vote against tenant protections. Kevin, you okay? You look like crap, man.
The next speaker is Aurelia Irene. Aurelia, you here? Is she here? ¿Habla español? Sí. Ok, le vamos a dar un minuto porque usted pidió hablar para en la agenda el número 21. Nomás hable despacito para que la puedan traducir.
Ok, buenos días, señores. Yo vengo a pedirles, por favor, que no quiten la protección del COVID, porque a mí me ayudó, me quisieron desalojar en el 2021, a mí me ayudó mucho la protección y les pido, señores, por favor, tomen en cuenta esto, que mucha gente necesitamos esa protección y que no haya desalojos.
Okay, so good.
Un momentito.
Good morning.
Can you hold on to the translator? I just want to make sure. Sergeants, is that a fire alarm? No. It's an Amber Alert. I did not get that Amber Alert. Okay. Disculpe, yo pensaba que era una alarma de los bomberos, pero por favor siga.
Can I translate?
Yeah, you can translate. Go ahead.
Thank you. So good morning. Good morning, council members. I'm here to ask you that please do not take away the protection that we got during COVID. This is really helping us. So they tried to evict me in 2022. So please take this into account. We need this protection.
Y les quisiera pedir, por favor, a los señores que tomen en cuenta esto, que mucha gente nos quedamos sin trabajo. Y necesitamos nuestras viviendas de muchos años que tenemos.
So I want you to consider that many of us lost our jobs, so we need our places where we've been living for so many years.
Gracias.
Thank you.
The next speaker is Bijan. Anyone here with that name, Bijan? Thank you. You signed up to speak in general public comment in item 21.
That's correct. The pandemic has affected many hardworking tenants, families with children, folks with medical conditions, the elderly, the disabled, undocumented people without access to many services and benefits. Many of us are vulnerable tenants who are the most at risk of being targeted. Our income has been affected. We've lost work, lost hours. have had to care for sick loved ones or lost loved ones. Many of us have to choose between paying for food, utilities, or medical care, or paying our rent. We live in buildings with new landlords due to an out-of-control housing market, landlords that offer us cash for keys and want to evict us without fault. In order to demolish our homes or to redevelop our properties, we need protections that protect us against evictions without fault and evictions due to non-payment based on COVID. We're facing low wages, wages that do not go up, inflation, and the price of everything, including housing, is rising and rising. We cannot afford to lose the housing we are already in. Do not vote to take these protections away, and we need more time for the report back and tenant feedback, please. Many of us have had to start street vending to make...
Continue.
No, continue. No, continue. You have another minute.
Many of us have had to start street vending to make money during the pandemic. However, street vending is still hard to do legally with the high permit fees that are going to go up starting July 1st. So I also ask that you guys extend the permit fees go up and provide these hardworking vendors that just want to make an honest dollar more resources and more infrastructure that they can operate their businesses legally, because they just want to pay their rent, and also they don't want to be evicted. And also, it's going to contribute to more homelessness, but now, with all the increased criminalization of being homeless and staying on the street, there's nowhere to go. So we have no other option but to let these protections continue. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next speaker is Jessica Rogers. You signed up to speak in general public comment.
I sure did. Good morning, everybody. I'm here today standing for the Venice community and all Angelenos who care deeply to create a balanced and sustainable approach to additional affordable housing. It's imperative that you understand the grave implications of supporting the Venice Median project. We are at a crossroads in LA politics where we have a clear schism between a balanced, varied approach to solving issues and a Bonin-style minority, extreme Marxist utopia that he and his supporters falsely claim to be progressive. Building the monster on the median would set a precedent that a $1.25 million unit for a 500 square foot studio would be the new benchmark for affordable housing in LA. Listen to that, Koretz. Council members, this project is riddled with major complications. Please vote no on this project or just don't show up to work on Friday. Thank you so much. Have an awesome day.
Thank you. The next speaker is Jim Mures. Jim? You signed up to speak in general public comment.
Yes, I did. My name is James Mures, or Jim Mures. I think that's how I signed up. I'm currently president of the Venice Neighborhood Council. We have a community impact statement in on the project that's going to be heard on Friday for the Venice Median, asking you to deny the project as it's being presented.
Hold on, sir, but did you submit a community impact statement for today's meeting?
It's actually for the meeting on Friday.
Okay.
We were told we weren't going to have a chance to make public comment on Friday, so we had to make it today.
That's fine, but do you have it? Do you want to read it into the record?
It's already been filed. It's been filed, and we've filed it on multiple cases because the case numbers have continued to change.
I understand.
We're not opposed to the project outright. We just want to have it be heard.
I just want to make sure I'm giving you the adequate time if you did submit a community impact statement today. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, no, not for today's hearing.
Okay, go ahead and continue.
For Fridays. Thank you. I also want to mention that I ran as a candidate for CD11, received over 3,000 votes from local community people. And in the 14 candidate forums that I attended, none of the candidates supported the project. So if the project goes forward, whoever the new council person is that replaces Mr. Bonin, they're not in support of the project as it's being presented and want to hear more about it. The project at present is targeted to over a $200 million project for 150 beds. That's a lot of money. Over the past 40 years, The city has promised that they will address the low-hanging fruit of being able to create an economic stimulus for Venice, which would be tourism. We all know tourism is big. If we could create more parking at the site, which is what's always been promised, that would create literally tens of millions of dollars for the city.
All right.
We need change.
Thank you,
It's
sir.
very
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take 10 additional speakers. Kimberly Alvarado? Kimberly, are you here? Is Kimberly here? Kimberly, you signed up to speak on item 21.
Yes. Hi, good morning. I'm Kimberly Alvarado. I'm a tenant organizer with Eastside Leads and and I am also a member of Keep LA House. And I'm here to let you know that thousands have relied on COVID tenant protections, and making changes to phase out emergency tenant protections now as COVID cases are rising could be devastating. A 30-day report back is not enough time to develop recommendations on such an important topic that would put at risk thousands of lives. We can't have a phase out until we have stronger permanent tenant protections in place. We need a permanent solution for housing in LA. I see someone sleeping. We need safeguards from eviction for thousands who get sick or temporarily lose income. We need just cause protections on all units, no exceptions. We need a codified right to counsel and strong anti-harassment implementation.
Thank you.
And more things.
Thank you. The next speaker is Marjorie Weitzman. You signed up to speak in general public comment.
General comment, please. I'm speaking on the Venice Del project you'll be hearing for a fourth time on Friday. This massive project is being pushed through planning without proper review. Mike Bonin deemed this site an underutilized beach parking lot. Then why are we paying $20 million to replace it? You haven't seen the true plans for the parking. What you approved is not what's being built. This is an impractical mechanical lift tandem system at the beach. In Housing Committee later today, developers will be hiding the actual cost of the project. They're scrambling to cover up the ridiculous price of over $1.2 million per unit. They want to deduct the commercial use from cost and blame that on coastal. Simply not true. We didn't want or need a 68-foot lookout tower or an art center or a cafe. This is an embarrassment and a fraud. Our taxpayer money could help so many more for so much less. Thank you, Councilman Buscaino. Thank you, Councilman Koretz. Thank you for coming down to meet the tenants who will be evicted in this project.
The next speaker is Mark Mack. You signed up to speak general public comment. Go ahead.
Yes. My name is Mark Mack. I'm Professor Emeritus of the Department of Architecture and Urban Planning at UCLA and UC Berkeley, and resident of Venice. I raise my objections to this project on Dell and Venice as an architect who was academically invested in housing and who also built award-winning low-rise, high-density housing projects on several continents. I'm disappointed in the lack of architectural innovation and carelessness in which housing as an inspiring human condition is represented here. The current design lacks quality living in small spaces, deficiencies of air and light principles. It is neither a good parking garage nor is it a good housing project. And this dilemma of the two opposing ideas, the mechanical parking garage and small-scale living, needs to be solved with courage and innovation. Currently, the technology for this mechanical parking is not here yet.
Thank you, Speaker. Thank you. The next speaker is Miguel Perez. Miguel? Is Miguel Perez here? Okay, thank you. Miguel, you signed up to speak in general public comment.
Mi comentario es general.
Sí,
Amén.
¿necesita traductora?
Sí.
Un momentito. Ok, nomás hable despacio para que le puedan traducir.
Buenos días, señores concejales. Mi nombre es Miguel Pérez. Soy vendedor ambulante en Exposition Park. Señores concejales, estamos apoyando la moción de la concejal Nitia Ramón de la extensión de los permisos. En estos momentos estamos pasando momentos muy difíciles en Los Ángeles, ya que nos ha afectado mucho lo que es el aumento del gas y la inflación ha afectado a muchos de nosotros los vendedores ambulantes. Por esa misma razón pedimos que analicen y desarrollen un costo más justo y accesible para todos nuestros compañeros. También pido a que revisen también y también desarrollen un costo razonable para las personas de la tercera edad, ya que muchos de los vendedores de la tercera edad venden cosas de segunda y ellos venden casi cosas de $1 y eso no les alcanza para pagar $541. Gracias.
Okay, so good morning, council members. My name is Miguel Perez, and I am a street vendor in Exposition Park, and we are supporting the motion from Council Member Nitya Raman to extend the permits. And we are going through very difficult times in Los Angeles. We are being affected by the raise of prices of the gas and the inflation. And so we are asking that if you can please analyze the costs that can make it more available. So if you can do something reasonable especially for the seniors, because they are selling second-hand stuff, and $441 is too much. Thank you.
The next speaker is Patrick Taylor. You signed up to speak in general public comment.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Patrick Taylor, Venice resident, voting no on the Venice Dell project you will be hearing on Friday. Venice Community Housing and Hollywood Community Housing are the facade of this project, having only a 0.01% stake. We, the people of Los Angeles, are giving away our land for $1 per year for 99 years. We are paying for 2 new parking structures. We are paying $7 million for the commercial part of this project and paying the rent for 140 units for 99 years. And who are we doing this for? The 99.99% stakeholder is a multi-billion-dollar financial institution sponsored by the big banks and Wall Street. This is an Enron-style fraud. This is a transfer of wealth from the poor to the rich. You're helping developers and banks, not the homeless. Please vote no. Thank you.
The next speaker is Robin Mures. You signed up to speak in general public comment.
I did. My name's Robin Mures, and I'm a native Angelino, approximately 30-year resident of Venice. I was an attorney, and I worked at the U.S. Commission on Civil Rights. Had the chance to go back to school, and I do public art, and I teach at Otis College of Art. I teach social justice and public art. So I'm here to speak and ask you all to please look very carefully at what is proposed, this Venice Median project. I'm just going to put together some of the discussion that's been going here from the public today. Yes, there's a problem with housing. There's a problem with rent. And no, the median project is the opposite of helping to solve that. This would be taxpayer money at a rate of $1.2 million per tiny unit, We cannot house people. We cannot solve any problems if we're putting out that kind of money at this time when what's needed is some immediate assistance. That money, that's our taxpayer money. Please use it in smart.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Yolanda Gonzalez. After Yolanda, we'll take 3 additional speakers.
Sí, estoy aquí para comentario general. Necesito traducción, por favor.
Si nomás hable despacio.
¿Mande?
Hable un poquito despacio para que le puedan traducir.
Ah, ok, perfecto.
Por favor, comience.
Sí, mi nombre es Yolanda González, residente de Venice desde 1998. Vengo aquí en protesta del proyecto que se está proponiendo.
My name is Yolanda Gonzalez, and I'm a resident of Venice since 1988, and I'm coming here to protest about this project.
Y la razón por la cual no han visto ustedes realmente el peligro de la construcción sobre esta propiedad. Yo vivo a 8 cuadras de la playa y este proyecto está a 2 cuadras y media de la playa y se me ha obligado un seguro de $3,000 sobre mi propiedad porque estoy en peligro de inundación.
This is a very, you haven't seen the risk and the dangers of constructing this priority. I live like 8 blocks from the beach, and this is being built like 1.5 blocks from the beach, and I was forced to pay, I think she said $3,000 for the insurance to protect from the flooding.
Y esto va a subir a un 14% de la cual ya hemos recibido notificación.
And this is still going to raise a 14%. We already got a notification about this.
Suplico, por favor, que examinen bien lo que se está proponiendo, porque yo he sido dueña de casa habitacional para bajos recursos y esto no es un debido. Busquen sus números. Los números nunca engañan.
So I beg you that please examine what you are proposing, because I, being owner of like some complex of for low income, and just if you really look at the numbers, then you will see that this is not working out.
Unos pocos segundos porque ya se le terminó el tiempo.
Yo sé. Y las represalias de incendiar mi propiedad por irme en contra del señor Bonnen es inaceptable.
Gracias.
Thank you.
And the retaliation to burn my property because I was against Mr. Bonnen, that's not acceptable.
Okay, the next speaker is Eva Garcia. Is Eva here? Thank you. Eva, you signed up to speak on item 21.
Español.
Okay. ¿Va a hablar sobre el tema 21? Más hable despacito para que le traduzca la traductora. ¿Comience?
Mi nombre es Eva García y vengo de la comunidad de Boyle Heights. Y vengo a pedir, por favor, que extiendan las protecciones, ya que esta ayuda que hubo del gobierno para ERAP no cubrió ni siquiera un 20% de lo que prometieron. Nuestra comunidad está a bordo de ser desalojada y no queremos esta ola de desalojos, ya que en estos tiempos antes de COVID ya veníamos ver gente viviendo en la calle, familias enteras, y es por eso que exigimos que, por favor, extiendan las protecciones y también crean leyes para poder evitar que los inquilinos los dueños sigan acosando a los inquilinos, porque ya es injusto ver cuánto dolor hay de personas que se enferman de tanto acoso de inquilino, porque no hay una ley que los proteja. Los inquilinos necesitamos protecciones y le pedimos por favor que extiendan esta ley porque lo necesitamos. Tener un techo es un derecho para cada ser humano. Gracias.
So my name is Eva Garcia, and I live in Boyle Heights. So I'm coming here to ask you if you can extend the protections. So this is going to be 20% more of what was promised. That was no Arab. The help that they got from Arab was like, only 20% of what they promised. And so we are on the brim to being evicted, and we don't want to see these. So before the COVID, there were already many families living in the streets. So please, also you need to create laws for those who harass the tenants. This is very unfair. There are many tenants that are getting sick for so much harassment. So we need some kind of protection, and to have a roof is our right.
Okay, I'm going to take one last speaker before I close public comment. Lucy Rollins. Mr. Buscaino, your name is on the queue. After? You signed up to speak on item 21.
Good morning, council members. Good morning. My name is Lucy Rollins. I'm a law student at UCLA Law, and I'm here to speak on item 21. I'm also a clerk at Public Counsel. The city's COVID eviction protections have been vital to keep people housed during the pandemic. The pandemic is ongoing, and the unhoused crisis in LA is raging on. The city cannot end the eviction protections without strong permanent tenant protections in place. The city should not make any changes to the COVID eviction protections without consulting with tenants first. There has been no public outreach or tenant engagement yet. Tenant advocates want to work with the city to plan for a stronger framework, but this cannot happen with a rushed 30-day report back. I urge the council to wait to work with tenant advocates to pass the Tenant Bill of Rights. Thank you.
And that will conclude public comment for today's meeting. Public comment is now. Excuse me, sir. Please don't interrupt this meeting. Do not interrupt. This is not a back and forth. Please do not disrupt this meeting, or I will ask you to leave. Thank you. Public comment has been satisfied for today's meeting. Mr. Buscaino, you're on the queue.
Point of order. Madam President. If I can, Madam President, could we consider item 22, reconsider item 22 for a no vote?
I'm going to ask the public to please respect the council chambers. No, I'm sorry. We've all given people the opportunity to speak. No,
okay, sir.
No, excuse me.
Be quiet.
I'm going to ask you to leave if you cannot
So you've been
be
warned.
quiet. We're trying to conduct our council meeting. Thank you.
If you speak out again,
If you speak
you'll
out
be
again, I'm
ordered
going to have you
leave.
removed. Mr. Buscaino.
Item number 22 for reconsideration, please.
Okay, let's open item 22 for reconsideration. Let's vote on reconsideration. Open the roll. Close the roll and tabulate the vote.
9 ayes,
Okay,
1 no.
that item is now before us. Let's open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the vote.
9 ayes, no.
Thank you. Let's move on to item number 1.
Before we do,
Mr.
just want to
Bonin?
ask if we could send item 30 forthwith, please.
I can't hear you, sir.
Item 30 forthwith, please.
Item 30 forthwith, without objection. Okay, let's move on to item number 1. Let's open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the vote.
10 ayes.
Madam President, for the record, the ordinance is held over to June 29, 2022, unless reconsidered with 12 members present.
Thank you. Let's move on to item 29. Let's vote on this item as amended. The motion's been circulated and introduced by Mr. Price. Let's open the roll on item 29 as amended. Open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the vote.
10 ayes.
Let's move on to item 21. I'm sorry, Mr. Price, go ahead.
I'd like to move that item forthwith, please. 29,
Forthwith, item 29.
Thank you.
Without objection. Item 21. Let's vote on this item as amended. Let's open the roll.
Madam President, I'd ask to.
Hold
ask
on for just a
question-
second. Item 21.
Yeah, I called special for a question for LHD.
I'm sorry, I apologize for that. My notes are incorrect. That's on hold, and I actually have other speakers on the queue on that item. Thank you, Mr. Bonin. Let's move on to item 5. This was called special by Ms. Rahman.
Hi, I just wanted to make some brief comments on this item, which is looking at what could be a potential opportunity for the city, but also a potential risk, which is that many people who own businesses here in the city of Los Angeles are aging out of the workforce. They are baby boomers who are retiring, and economists predict that throughout the entire country, we're going to see a number of small businesses that are actually shutting down because their owners are exiting the workforce because they're older. This could lead, if not thought about, to a wave of small business closures, which I don't need to make the case for why that would be bad for Los Angeles. But there's also an opportunity here which some cities have been capitalizing on and some nonprofits have been thinking about already in different places, which is that as these business owners retire, they're able to sell their business to their employees and create many more employee-owned firms. This is something that actually Councilmember Price has already been working on in his district with some success, and it's a great model. And I'm really excited to present this idea for the City of Los Angeles in partnership with him to see how we can leverage our city resources to ensure that more of these small businesses stay in our city, that they're employee-owned, and that through that employee ownership, that they actually end up contributing more to the health and security of Los Angeles than they do now. So thank you. I hope that all of you will be able to support this.
All right, thank you, Ms. Rahman. Let's go ahead and prepare to vote on that item. Let's open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the vote.
10 ayes.
Members, before us, we have item 21. Since the motion was introduced 4 months ago, our housing department has been meeting with community organizations to address our city's pandemic-era housing policies. They've been holding these conversations to ensure that tenants, especially those who are most vulnerable and those who are living paycheck to paycheck, are heard in these conversations. Today, both the tenants and the mom and pop landlords are hurting. This is not about big corporations. These are hardworking Angelenos who have saved up money to buy a home, to lease, to create generational wealth for them and their families. This is about them and about the low-income tenants and families who are barely getting by. On April 25th, we heard this motion in the ad hoc COVID committee, where we heard from members of the public, we heard from renters, we heard from mom and pop landlords, and we heard from both sides of this issue. I want to be clear about what's going to happen today. This motion is simply to initiate a report. I've also introduced an amending motion that will instruct the Housing Committee to work with the stakeholder groups to get their input and feedback and to make sure that the appropriate outreach is done to tenants. Additionally, the amending motion instructs the Housing Department to look at how we are going to address the gaps in protection by expanding and strengthening our housing policies here in Los Angeles, so that we can make sure that once the eviction moratorium sunsets, we have a plan in place to protect families and Angelenos and keep them safe and housed. So with that, members, we have a number of members on the queue. Mr. Bonin, you've asked for the department to be here?
Yes, if...
So let me make sure that the Housing Department, there you are. Why don't you go ahead and take a seat at the table? And we'll start with Mr. Bonin, followed by Mr. De Leon.
Thank you, Madam President, and thank you very much for the amending motion that you co-presented with Ms. Rahman this morning, which I think really speaks to some of the concerns that people have voiced and helps to address them. I want to start by just identifying what an extreme matter of concern this is for so many people in Los Angeles. When they hear about the potential sunsetting of of renter protections, it really strikes, you know, an existential fear in people's hearts. And so we've heard a lot of concern. And early on, this item came up in the context of people urging us to repeal renter protections, and from a lot of the landlords that have come forward. And so I want to make sure that LAHD hears, as it's going forward with the report, that there is also significant interest in doing everything we can to keep in place every renter protection that we have, and to do what we can to expand and enhance those. So a couple questions. One, the amending motion speaks to conducting outreach with stakeholder groups during the development of the report. I just want to be very clear that you'll be reaching out to tenant organizations, affordable housing organizations, community-based organizations, things like Community Coalition in South LA.
Yes, Councilman Bonin. We have initiated discussions with community advocate groups, and we'll expand on that to include all of the various groups that you have mentioned.
Great, and I'm sure council members can all provide a few suggestions from within their district as well. I wanted to ask if in the report you could include a piece of information. There's a lot of confusion about what was in place before the pandemic, what was put in place during the pandemic, and about what is allowed to stay in place after the pandemic versus what must go away, right? There are some things that we did that were simply a product of emergency powers and things that the governor allowed us to do during the course of the pandemic. What I really appreciate seeing in the report back is a list of all of the COVID-era renter protections that we approved, and an indication of which we are prohibited from keeping in place by state or federal law. Because I don't want us to remove anything that we do not absolutely have to remove. I also would urge LAHD in the report to consider very strongly the direction in the Martinez-Rahman motion, which I was glad to second, asking you to address how we can expansion and strengthen just cause evictions. I also would request, if you could, to look at how we might restructure the CPI formula in RSO, just so we have an idea of the policy question in front of us. And the reason I suggest that, colleagues, is, you know, under the current RSO, there is rent stabilization ordinance, there is a formula that allows an increase of up to 10% in rent, calculated on the 100% of the consumer price index. That means that in 2023, most of the tenants, most of the people of Los Angeles, are going to see a 10% rent increase. That's going to be a big, significant increase for lots of families. And that is going to spur, without some of the protections we have in place, a big, big wave of evictions that we need to be very mindful that is a potential consequence of any action we take, so that we can take any steps we can to prevent that. There's a council file that has been sitting in the Housing Committee for a very long time, pre-pandemic, which looks at some alternatives for how we can calculate CPI, as Oakland and other cities do. I also think that we should look at, colleagues, as we do these considerations, the floor of the consumer price index increase. We have a floor of 3%. So there are a number of years, colleagues, where there was no increase in the cost of living. There was no increase in the consumer price index, but owners of RSO units were allowed to increase rent. So they're going to come back now and say, we got to increase rent because costs are up, but they also got to increase it when costs were not increasing, or even when costs went down. So we may want to consider removing the floor as well, as is in an active council file in the Housing Committee. So I just wanted to ask that we consider that in the scope of the
Yeah,
report.
Councilman, I have to comment, and I neglected to introduce myself. Anna Ortega,
Yes.
Assistant General Manager for the Housing Department Regulatory Code and Compliance, and also for many years the Director of Rent Stabilization. And I have to correct you a little bit.
Please.
The parameters in the rent stabilization ordinance for the annual allowable increase are a floor of 3%, as you stated, and a ceiling of 8%. But we can certainly report back on how it's working and the motion to change the percentage and all of that, and how it works in Los Angeles. At this moment, under one of the existing protections that were adopted by this council very wisely almost 2 years ago, there is a prohibition on any pass-through of the annual allowable rent increase for at least 12 months after the lifting of the emergency declaration. So we know right now that there will not be any annual allowable rent increase for at least 12 months.
Right, and then that's when it'll kick in. And thank you for
That's-
correcting me
yes.
on the 8% as opposed to the 10%. I appreciate that. And thank you for all your work on the RSO.
Thank you.
Thank you, colleagues, and thank you, Madam President, in particular for the motion with Ms. Rahman.
Thank you, Mr. Bonin. Mr. De Leon, followed by Ms. I'm sorry, Mr. De Leon, followed by Ms. Rahman.
Thank you very much, Madam President. I also want to thank you very much during this very difficult 2.5, close to 3 years of the global pandemic for your leadership. It predates me before I got to the council with regards to the action that you took with the collective body of this council to move forward with the necessary protections for our inquilinos, for our renters. I do want to restate a question from Ms. Bonin. I know he just mentioned COCO, South LA. We have a couple organizations here also based in Boyle Heights. So in terms of your outreach program, I just want to make sure that, and you know the demographics based on ethnicity, just based on zip codes, geographically throughout the city of LA, where to do the outreach. I just want to make sure that our neighborhoods, such as Boyle Heights and Highland Park and Lincoln Heights, El Sereno, are also covered. I know for folks in the valley, whether it be Pacoima or other areas, want to make sure that those areas are covered too. So I want to make sure that that's covered as well too. The report back, because we know there's quite a few number of folks who applied for the emergency rental assistance, are in the queue, but have yet to receive their resources, or not the resources, the check needed to pay back the rent that is owed. In the report back coming to the council, my understanding is that you'll tell us how many folks are still in the queue who are residents of the city of LA, who have yet to have been paid back, or not paid back, I should say, but paid the necessary money that they applied for the rent that's owed.
We can do that. As you know, at this point, we're collaborating with the state Housing is Key program, but we meet weekly with them to get reports on the status of our LA City residents. They're working very hard to actually get all of the checks out this month for everyone that had applied by March 31st. But we will certainly report back on the results. I will say that at this point, the city of Los Angeles, had the most deep protections of anyone in the state of California, possibly in the
country,
nation,
yeah.
much to the credit of this body. And as far as the total funding available to the state, the city of Los Angeles has received the lion's share of it. I believe the latest numbers are 28% of all monies paid have been for city residents. It's about 1.4 billion right now, but they're still processing those final applications, so we will include that.
And when we get the report back, will it be for folks who are in the queue who have not been paid yet the money for the back rent, Will it be an aggregate number, or will will it be disaggregated by individual?
Those numbers, that is now with the state program, so we'll have to see how finite of a report they can give us.
And so will you tell us that? Will you tell us, because I'm not sure if it'll be an aggregate number, and if it is an aggregate number, please let us know. So, because we'll have folks who'll come to us and will say, hey, we did meet the March 31st deadline, but yet nothing has showed up, or I haven't been told anything as of yet.
I believe we can get it by address.
Okay.
So we can use that to make it more specific as to, for instance, what council district or.
Okay. And obviously from many of the folks who came up here and who gave their public comments, you still feel, even though, and I think you're absolutely right, clearly in the state of California, we were the most progressive, most aggressive, and we had the most far-reaching eviction moratorium clearly anywhere in the state of California. I know that in Washington, D.C., the Congress failed to move forward with an eviction moratorium. The President of the United States, attempted to do so through an executive order, but his executive order was overturned by the U.S. Supreme Court. At the statewide level, collectively through the executive and legislative branch, they didn't extend the eviction moratorium. So Atlanta, Houston, Baltimore, Washington, D.C., New York, Chicago, I'm going to go on a limb. I'm not quite sure, but I'm going to say that I think we are the most extensive nationwide when it comes to renter protections and the eviction moratorium due to the COVID pandemic.
Yes.
Right there. So the question is I know, Madam President mentioned it just a few moments ago, will you also bring back, and I just want to state in the record so folks can hear, an analysis of any renter protection gaps?
Yes.
That we can't see, that some folks may fall through the cracks, and we want to make sure that we're protective of them.
Yes, we understand that direction. We were actually working on reports before the pandemic, and then everything else took over. But we will include follow-up reports, for instance, on just cause for renters not covered by the rent stabilization ordinance and other improvement in protections.
Because I'm going to assume that is going to require some policy-making decisions around this horseshoe of how we can make sure that we can protect folks so they don't fall. One of the gentlemen here, I believe it was the first gentleman here, I forget his name, talked about the current homelessness crisis we have in the city of LA. And God knows we don't want to add, more folks, onto the streets of LA. So analyzing what gaps exist will be very critical, for the members of the Housing Committee and just for this collective body as a whole to make the decisions. And I know it's a balance, because Madam President mentioned one thing about the question of small mom and pop landlords that have to be made whole because they hold a note themselves. At the same time, we have our tenants here that need to keep a roof over their head, a roof over their children. And we had a young woman here who talked about, and which is understandable, because that housing insecurity leads to anxiety, leads to panic, leads to not knowing what the future is going to look like, not knowing what your rights are, not knowing that if the pounding on the door is going to be your eviction, and they're going to end up on the streets, because many folks here are, quite frankly, they're one paycheck away, if not even less than that, from living on the streets. So getting that report back will be very, very, very important, so we can collectively analyze what protections and gaps we need to move forward to make sure we don't have more folks living on the streets, but making sure that they have a roof over their head. which is our collective duty and responsibility. So we'll make sure we get that as well too.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President.
Next speaker is Ms. Rahman.
Thank you so much, Council Members Bonin and De Leon, for your excellent questions and your comments earlier, Council President. And thank you to you, Anna, for all your work on this. I know you've been thinking about renter protections for a long time here in Los Angeles and running the tenant support programs throughout this entire period, and I know it's been an immense amount of work. I really want to just thank also all of the people who testified today about their surprise and anxiety around potential changes. I know that questions related to your rent and to your housing are incredibly anxiety-inducing, particularly during a period when we have felt so insecure for so long. And I also heard today over and over again a call to ensure that COVID-related renter protections going away doesn't mean an end to a better system of renter protections here in the city of Los Angeles. And so I'm really excited that we have an opportunity as we think about next steps, stepping into this uneasy period of post-pandemic, that with the leadership and partnership of the Council President, that we can really think through what this period looks like. So a lot of my questions were already asked, so I really wanted to just rise and express my gratitude to everyone here for their thoughtfulness and for my hope that we can move forward in this, listening to people, hearing from people, and ensuring that we're doing the right thing going forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Rahman, and that's concludes the speakers on the queue. Members, I've just been notified that there's actually 2 members that need to recuse themselves on this issue. I just found this out a couple of minutes ago, so we're going to have to continue this item until Friday because we simply don't have quorum on this particular item. I was just notified about that, so I just want to apologize to anyone who came out here and spoke. The intent was to vote on this item today. I've just been notified there's 2 members that are actually going to recuse themselves on this vote. So I'm going to bring this item back on Friday for a vote, and I urge all of you to vote yes on Friday as well. So with that, it is what it is. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much for being here. And with that, Madam Clerk, what's before us now?
Council has motions for posting and referral.
Those are posted and referred.
The desk is clear.
Okay, members, do you have any announcements? Seeing no announcements, can we all rise for adjourning motions? Is there any adjourning motions to my left? Mr. Koretz, you have one?
Yes, thank you, Madam President. Today I'd like to adjourn in remembrance of Erica DeVore Brunson, an actress, a brilliant interior designer, a lifelong animal advocate, and a spay and neuter philanthropist. She sadly passed away on May 17th, 2022 at the age of 86. Erica was a kind and caring person who was passionate about helping animals and others. She was born Maria Erica Nab in Germany on September 4th, 1935, and after shortening her name to Erica Nab, she began pursuing a career in film when she moved to West Berlin, landing her first role as an actress in the German film One Woman Is Not Enough in 1955. She appeared in 21 Berlin-made films, but her most notable work was dubbing the voice of Mickey Mouse in translated versions of American-produced animated features. She continued acting after moving to Hollywood in 1957, appearing in films such as G.I. Blues. She eventually chose to step down from acting and became known as Erica DeVore Brunson by mid-1969. In later years, her animal advocacy began in June 1971 when she was appointed to the LA Board of Animal Regulation Commissioners by Mayor Sam Yorty. She helped push, along with others, for Los Angeles to stop turning in animals for biomedical research use. She was able to start and run 2 successful businesses as an interior designer and filmmaker, the proceeds of which went to animal charities such as Animals 24/7. Above all, she established the Coalition for Pets and Public Safety, designed to provide and expand access to free or low-cost spay and neuter services in Los Angeles. I got to know her in West Hollywood, where she had her interior design business in the 80s and 90s. I gradually became aware of her incredible passion for the protection of animals as well. In 2016, Mike Antonovich, county supervisor, joined Erica Brunson, who was then president of Spay for LA, to unveil a mobile spay and neuter clinic designed to provide free sterilization services in LA City and County. It was a pioneering effort which inspired several mobile spay and neuter clinics that now serve Los Angeles. Friends and colleagues remember Erica as a person who never stopped raising the bar in her career and for her selfless efforts in animal welfare. She had a wonderful sense of humor and was always a joy to be around, and may her memory and legacy live on. She will be dearly missed by all the people that knew her and all the animals that she helped.
Thank you, Mr. Koretz. Mr. Harris-Dawson?
Thank you so much, Madam Chair and members. Today I ask that we adjourn in the memory of Mr. Reynaldo Racer. He was born and raised in the community of West Athens, the southern end of South Los Angeles. He got involved in gang life at a very early age. At the age of 15, he landed in California state prisons. During that time, he availed himself of the various programs, completing his GED and a number of other certifications. Upon his release in 2006, he made a commitment to try to make up or undo or restore some of the damage that he has caused as a young person. He got involved in gang and community violence intervention work. He established an organization himself and then later joined an organization called RACE, Reclaiming America's Community Through Empowerment. He provided safe passages for about 500 young people every school year for several years, helped distribute food and a number of other benefits to low-income people during COVID, and helped form a very vibrant group called the West Athens Westmont Task Force that's hosted me and Mr. Price and Mr. Wesson and almost everybody who does work in South Los Angeles. We lost Mr. Racer to an automobile accident on June 6th of this year. His funeral will be this coming Friday. He is survived by his wife and his son, Reynaldo Jr. May he rest in power.
Mr. Price?
I'd like to add on to that.
Mr. Price would like to add on to your adjourning motion, Mr. Harris-Dawson. Any other adjourning motions to my left? Adjourning motions to my right? Seeing none, our meeting is adjourned. Thank you.